Don't weaponize your intelligence. The mind is still sharp, but the world needs your discernment, not your criticism. So in other words, you want to lead from truth, not righteousness. There's a lot of righteousness going on microphones in the world right now. And sometimes that righteousness is well deserved, but there's also just righteousness for righteousness' sake because there's a lot of ungrounded, not Knight of Pentacles energy when it comes to emotional regulation in your business and boundaries that need to be set. And that righteousness shows up when it could just honestly be so much simpler. So let's move into our CEO pillars. I always like to think of this as your homework for the week. We've got earth, air, fire, and water. Earth is the first card. It is for your body. We are talking about the Queen of Pentacles in the upright position. Self-care here is sovereignty. Your health and resources are definitely reflecting your leadership. We've got more of that Pentacles energy. I love to see it, especially with your body. Getting rooted is really important. I am getting a note from someone's guide that it would be really useful to have your feet hit some ground. So if you live in a concrete jungle and you need to find yourself a patch of grass, that is your goal this week. Do you need to take your shoes off? No. It's always really interesting about this time of year. This happens almost annually in a reading. I get this note about like putting your feet on the ground, and I live in the Pacific Northwest. And so, it's starting to get pretty chilly up here. I wouldn't necessarily take off my shoes and socks and walk around on very cold ground right now. So you don't have to either. I'm getting a note from someone else's guide. So let me finish the first thought. You could just like be wearing your sneakers, but like instead of only taking your walk outside on pavement, maybe there's a dirt path somewhere, or maybe you can literally walk across an empty field, but it will ground you. I'm getting a note from someone's guide that someone in here, it would do you well to create like a little foot sandbox for your office. I feel like it's a home office. If you live near a beach somewhere, you can take a trip and go collect some sand in a bucket and bring it back with you. But you can get like a bamboo tray or a box and sprinkle the sand in there so that you can take your shoes and socks off at any point that you want and literally put your toes in the sand. And that can be very grounding. There's also something very like giggly, like fun in the energy. So whoever that belongs, if you're giggling while you're listening to me say this, I have a feeling that that message is for you. And then we have our air pillar for your voice. This is the 8 of Cups reversed. So we're talking about emotional residue around communications. Say the hard thing that you have been avoiding. Closure is clarity. Remember that you can do this with empathy and compassion as a leader. It's all over your readings this week. It is in your astrology forecast. It is in your main tarot spread. And being the one to say the hard thing is the way that you get closure, which is great for your voice and your energy. But it is also a way for you to embody the energy of that compassionate leader, which the universal energy is asking everybody to start doing.